And now we are celebrating World Alzheimer's Day. Thank you so much, both of you. And thank you all for being a part of our journey. And I do hope that you will continue to be a part of this journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Suman. Now I'd like to welcome our President, Samir Gupta, to speak a few words.
Thank you, madam. Good evening, everybody. That's all I know about. But I hope that you all get my message. The first thing about Alzheimer's is this, that at least we are learning to identify that Alzheimer's is a problem. Dementia is a problem. About 5 years back, very few of us would talk about Alzheimer's or dementia. And if all of us start becoming a bit patient understanding of this problem, I'm sure half our job is done. The objective of today's program to have you all here is this, that you all are messengers of this, messengers for this message to go on. That Alzheimer's is nothing to be scared about. We are there to take care of it now and care. So I think we have a wonderful set of speakers today, and I'm sure they'll inspire us to live with dementia and Alzheimer's with our seniors and help them handling this. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Earlier this month, we had a poster competition where we invited a lot of kids to, whatever they want to get a nice little paint on what they thought was Alzheimer's. And today it's time to give them the prizes that we arrived at the wizards, and I request Rohit to take this one.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. May I request, so we will show you the poster and winners as well. Let it first come up. Extremely creative kids. This is not an easy theme to have a painting on, especially for kids. So let's see what they have come up with. Someone, if you could just okay, yeah, thank you. Maybe you can pause somewhere. Okay, so they can know. Yes, so this is the first prize that goes to Gunjan Mandal from Mahila Seva Samaj. And everyone who please
what you want to convey to us?
So Alzheimer's is a disease, and if you painting, I want to say that brain shrinks, and like the picture represents that the brain is like melting down and it's almost about to end, and that's what the picture represents, that the brain is melting or shrinking. Amazing.
and if this year the president will come over, please go ahead.
Someone?
Thank you. I don't know who is managing the computer now, but maybe the next one, please. Yeah, so the second prize for the category above 14 years goes to Dorothy from Clarence High School. I'm not sure if she was able to make it today. Okay, she did not say this more, but congratulations. Yeah. The category is 10 to 14 years. Yeah. So this wonderful painting goes to Supraja G from Mahila Seva Samaj. First prize. Congratulations. Okay, we'll have so. Is there anybody else from MSS who can collect this? No. Only Benjamin. Yeah, please. Round of applause. Yeah, the second prize for 10 to 14 years was K. Sri Yudhika, 12 years from Clarence High School. Congratulations. We have several post participation certificates. Would like to hand over one now for the person who is here. We'd like to hand over this participation certificate to Vigneshwar Rajtekar. Thank you very much. Very nice.
If I can add, someone just talked to this boy in the morning, and by evening he had prepared it and given to someone. And I thought that he must encourage the child, so that's why it's not over there. It's a special effort consolation prize. Very good. God bless. Absolutely. Thank you, Rohit, and congratulations to all the winners. A round of applause for all. Now we come to hear the talks from the experts. Sadly, today, Dr. Radha Murthy was to be here, couldn't make it because of her urgent visit to Delhi, some ministerial work. So we now have, I will now invite Wing Commander D.P. Sabharwal. But I would like to briefly introduce Wing Commander D.P. Sabharwal is an aeronautical engineer by training, an Air Force officer by profession, a teacher and trainer by aptitude, writer by passion, and a social worker by choice that we have seen. He looked after his wife who was suffering from Alzheimer's. Yes. And after her death, he has taken it as a life mission to spread awareness about this cruel disease. He is the founder, chairman of ADRAG India, and has so far delivered more than 180 talks on the Alzheimer's awareness. And that was caregivers across the country. He has written 2 books on the subject which are available today. The books are not priced and are available free of cost. However, if you would like any contribution to the book, you could do that, and that will go for the Alzheimer's Fund. I now welcome Mr. T.P. Sabharwal.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have seen that small 2 minutes video clip. I'm sure everybody was touched by that clip. Now you can imagine a person like me, or for that matter, Anupama, she looked after her husband for about 10 years. This disease, this is one moment. And this happens day after day at different times of the day. Now, what happens exactly in Alzheimer's is totally opposite to a child. When a child is born, there are trillions of cells in the brain. After the birth, not even a single new cell is formed. What happens as a child grows? A child starts sitting, starts crawling, starts walking, starts running, starts speaking, starts eating, starts recognizing. So all those things, what happens, the connections are made between the cells. Right now there are cells isolated, the connections are formed between the cells, and that is how a child progresses. It takes about 6, 7, 8 years for a child to learn cycling and learn everything. In old age, in Alzheimer's, what happens? All those connections starts breaking. When 17 years back, my wife had this disease, and it can happen to anybody. She was a postgraduate teacher. She was training yoga. She had learned yoga from Ramdev and was about 100 ladies and children in our housing society. Highly active. Those days it was said it happens to the old people above 75 and those who do not use their brains. That time it was the first case in the country when somebody got it at the age of 52. Normally it happens above 75. Today we have got just 2 or 3 cases which has happened at about 55 or so. So what happens? All those which is learned in the childhood start getting erased. So when I read the first book, they say Alzheimer's patients start behaving like a child. Like you tell a child doesn't listen to you. You say do this, child doesn't do it. You say pick up this thing, child doesn't do it. But that is the beginning. Slowly the child learns everything. In this case, is the reverse. Start losing everything. A sensible lady, we are married for about 28 years. Absolutely fine. One day I said, please, we are sitting across the table. I said, you can pick up that book and give me. He won't respond. Now it's very strange. First time it happens, second time, third time, this sort of incidents happen. What happens? You start getting irritated. You start getting worked up. I started suspecting her. Why is she doing it? Is she doing it on purpose? Is she teasing me? Why? Later on we realize that the connections are not made. When he said, please give me that. Let's say here is a pen. I said, please give me pen. She hears, give me pen. That goes to one part of the brain. From there, the message does not go to the hand to move and pick up and to the pen. She hears all right. So when I say what's wrong with you, Now you imagine the condition of that person. I didn't know at that time. I feel bad. Today I tell everybody. A stage came when I had 5 posters in my drawing room, dining room, bedroom, kitchen. She is not doing on purpose. That awareness has to come to the caregiver. And now what happened to her? 7, 8 years she was suffering. The caregiver, me or anybody else, they suffer that much plus more. There was a time when could not eat. Firstly, it will not go like a child. When start eating, the food goes all over the face. In their case, also started going here. Instead of water going to the mouth, it used to go here. So the only thing is, I have to feed her. It used to take 1 hour for each meal to be fed. Time was not a problem. My shoulders started aching. Holding the spoon, she won't open the mouth. You're struggling. You're doing that. So that is what happens to the caregiver. And today I just want to say that disease happens. God forbid it doesn't happen. We don't pray that it comes to anybody's house, but then we can only pray. We cannot help it. So we have given you a handout. There are 10 symptoms. Forgetting is only one thing. There are 10 other things which happen. 15 years back it was not known, so we could not link up. Today we say 3 or 4 or 5 of these things happen, which is given in the handout. Take it seriously. And this Alzheimer's, by the time it is detected, it happens because of some protein is formed in the brain. That protein cells break the connection between the neurons. Now that protein does not prevent a person from doing anything. Now these proteins start building up 20 years before. So by the time a disease is detected, Alzheimer's is already well advanced. You can't cure it. For next 10 years, 15 years, there will not be any cure for this. But why we say you must know? Because the life of the patient can be made better. A patient can be made to live with dignity. Like now I remember when I used to suspect her, I used to tell her, what's wrong with you? Dimag kharab hai. Why are you doing all this? You can imagine her mental state. She could not answer back. The result used to be aggression, violence. So it is making situation from bad to worse. So when we know a person is suffering, the caregiver has to be that much compassionate, empathy, passion can be there. More than that, the caregiver himself or herself leads a better life. I started ignoring myself. There was a time, early morning, 7 o'clock, my children had to put me in a car and take me to Vikram Hospital. My breathing had gone off, and for last 8 years, I am living on inhalers. My lungs have got contracted because I missed out everything, my food, my exercise, So what I want to say, the patient has to live for as long as God has decided. You and me cannot do anything. But for the caregiver, if you are there or somebody else, caregiver has to be given care. He or she has to be looked after. Now there are 4 aspects of health. Physical health must do, because her requirement was so much. I say, why to pressurize my son or daughter? I used to look after. I stopped going for morning and evening walks. And the result was I collapsed. My lungs, oxygen levels had gone up. So caregiver has to look after the health. Very, very important. Take half an hour in the morning and evening. Nothing happens. After 6 years, when I had gone into depression, because I just couldn't go anywhere. One day my child said, Papa, please, there was a marriage in the family in Delhi. They said, we give you 1 night off. So I took a flight from here in the evening, 4 o'clock, reached Delhi, attended wedding. Next day morning, 7:30 flight, 10 o'clock I was here. First thing, how is your mother? The same way as you had no deterioration. But the change in me was great. My batteries, which are totally drained out, were replenished. So I started telling, look, spend half an hour in the morning and evening. Nothing will happen to the patient. but you will maintain your sanctity. That is the physical health. Financial health, very important. I will not talk because Anupama will talk about the financial aspect. Then comes mental health. Patient can't do anything. My wife used to teach yoga to everybody, but she could not sit and do meditation or something, nothing. But a caregiver has to look after the mental health. Spend 15, 20, 30 minutes telling yourself that what has happened, you can't do anything. How you can do. But the fourth aspect which I am talking about is the social health. You're interacting with the society. When the disease was spreading, I left Air Force 14 years back. I was settling in Chandigarh. The doctor here in Mahas told me that you better shift with your children. So I came to Bangalore. My younger son was here. I was very happy because I had about 8 or 10 of my very close friends from Air Force and civil life. But in the next 3 years, all that stopped. Anybody coming to home, they saw that she used to blabber, not talk properly, this, that, they stopped coming and we stopped going. So stage came, I was socially cut off. Now that is something very bad. Now over the years, my second book, Learn Care, is only for the caregivers. We talk about it. Maintain your social contact. You must have somebody, 2, 3 people in a friend circle, in a relative. You got to just talk about what you are going through. Nobody can help you. But the very fact to speak out, it is letting out the steam. It's like a pressure cooker. If the whistle doesn't go, the cooker will burst. It had happened in my case. I was taken to a counselor. And that counselor, what happened is, suggested something. That's how I came into Rotary 4 years back, because I had a mental nervous breakdown. That can happen, and that does happen to most of the caregivers. So you have to have 2 people. You have to have 2 shoulders on where you can put your head and cry. Believe me, there's nothing wrong in crying. There are 2, 3 occasions when I have cried. It eases out. We have a circle, about 80 people on WhatsApp, only for the caregivers. We are supporting those people. They have any problem, we'll talk to them. So all I say, anybody, if you ever get into that position, or you have somebody who is a caregiver to a patient, you must have some friends where you can put your shoulder, add on the shoulder. And in Bangalore, I can say last 5 years, I've gone to about 18 families who are suffering from there. I come to know, I visit them. I tell them, okay, sir or ladies, my shoulder is here, you can cry. And don't worry about infection. I go back home and I keep my shirt and my shoulder. Next time it's fresh again. I hope the message is very clear. It's very, very important. So with that, all I like to say that we here in Rotary Club and Red India are spreading it. When 4 years back I started, I was a single person. It was like on Diwali, when you first light the major diya in front of Lakshmi. Then from that diya you light 4 more, 10 more, 20 more, 100 more. That is what we have started doing. In the last 4 years, today we have got about 7 or 8 speakers who can deliver these talks. We are opening AdRec chapters in already opened in 5 cities. 11th of next month, I will in Calcutta, the oldest Rotary club in the country, 102 years old. We will be launching. They insisted that we launch the AdRec chapter in person, so I'll be going and doing it. So all we are doing is spreading that awareness. If in your organization, in your corporate, in your housing society, you want this talk to be arranged, please contact us. We'll be more than happy to come and inform. Thank you.
I'd now like to introduce our next speaker. Her name is Mrs. Anupama. Very chairman. Yeah, she's an MBA in marketing and is currently Director of Operations and HR in Madam Four. She was the president of Lions Club of Vijayanagar last year. She has the unique distinction of holding a master's degree in dementia studies from the University of Stirling and has worked in dementia centers for more than 7 years, in addition to looking after her husband, who suffered from Alzheimer's for many years. She's actively involved in the cause of Alzheimer's and in counsels caregivers, especially on financial and legal aspects. She's been conducting walkathons on occasion of World Alzheimer's Day, and one such walkathon was done earlier this morning at Engage. She's going to speak to us on the financial and legal aspects in tackling Alzheimer's. Mr. Campbell, thank you.
Manufacturing defect. So I'll be comfortable. Can you hear me? Good evening, everybody. And thanks for your time and thanks for your patience with listening to us. And as Tamarwal said, he's my senior in this experience, I can say. And though I'm junior, but I suffered a lot with my husband's early onset dementia. Let's call it frontotemporal dementia, which affects the cognitive function. And he has been diagnosed when he was 41-year-old. Yeah. 41-year-old he was when he got diagnosed. Yeah.
You have to hold it tightly.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Can you all hear? Yeah, so he was a banker and we thought we are just settling down in that year. He was 41, I was just 2 years younger to him, and we bought a nice flat on a prime area on Marty Road. We thought, wow, he's the only child, she was in 10th standard. Wow, I'm going to start. Then it's not that easy. Life is not that easy, but I have to make it easy. So then it started 2007 symptoms. From then, life went on, and only losses, only I know, sad and sorrow, every day crying, fighting. 2010, he got diagnosed with PET-CT. Since I have to talk on financials and legal, I'm taking this word PET-CT. It's a PT, PET-CT. So I'd gone to Chennai for a meeting with a neurologist, and then he suggested, "You're from Bangalore, you go to HCG and get the PET-CT done." Okay. I said, "Oh, okay." When I went to HCG, the PET-CT, he said, "Okay, go and pay it." I said, "How much?" 25,000. Just 25,000 in the year 2010. Today is 12 years before. By then itself, it was 7-year-old, Alzheimer's, which is ruling his brain. Are like, he said, 25,000 for one scanning. I said, which account do I have that much money? It was not neither in his account or in my account. We just bought a flat then. The EMI was going from both accounts. No option left. So no option left. So we had to get him PET-CT done. Unfortunately, it was diagnosed as Alzheimer's. So what next? Everyone said, you go there, you go to that doctor, this doctor. I would have gone to minimum 10 doctors. In that 4 psychiatrists, 6 neurologists, blah, blah, blah. If I go to him, they say, no, you go to psychiatrist. No, this is not psychiatric. It's neuro-related. Whom to trust? Who is there to guide me? That time, Savarman was not my friend at that time. Where to go? Nobody was there for me. Nobody was there. Only myself. where to adjust money. This is how life started. It's gone worst. In 2015, this time, that's October 17th, October 16th, our wedding anniversary. October 17th, literally, I took him physically and left him in a care center in Kolar. Why Kolar? Kolar was a reasonably charged center than Bangalore. In Bangalore, it is not less than 60,000, 50,000, that is 2015. Where will I go? So I decided to put him in Kolar Care Center. So then the journey started. Then I started doing the maintenance. It is very, very expensive disease. And as Bharat said, it's very cruel. Bharat, thanks for using that word. When it comes to Alzheimer's, I use only that word to take out my frustration. Very, very cruel it is. Why it is so cruel? Other diseases are also there. Cancer also there. Uska baap hai cancer. Cancer is rappa agile. Adru kuda, there's a limit for cancer. There's a one deadline. You have to meet that deadline. Like the annual target sets in corporates, like that there's a target for the cancer. If you do well, you will survive. If not, you will go. But wherein here, in this disease, once it is diagnosed, a minimum lifetime is 10 years. Minimum. That's it. The family is fortunate. I'm sorry to use like this. See, very slow. Otherwise, it will prolong. 3 more years, 5 more years. It had happened in my case. So when you put a person, family person, in a care home, what will be the chance? Minimum 40,000. If you want in your own city, near to your house, near your area, where you can visit them weekly once or monthly once. So can everybody afford 40,000 per month for a person who is suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's? Only hardly anyone can afford. Hardly. That too, upper middle class, upper higher class, only such people, those people can afford. What about people like lower middle class? One person is earning 50,000 rupees per month. As a banker, it was not even that much. And I was earning, of course, some good salary. But still, no, that's not sufficient. Not only this, after a certain stage, they'll move to another level where the person has to be on diapers. And diapers. And diapers are very, very expensive than medicine. The diagnosis expenses, till you run around this doctor, that doctor, their consultation fee is the highest. I'm sorry if any doctors are here, because I got so much. And later to that, medicines are very, less expensive, I can say. Am I correct, Sabi? Medicines are less expensive. But the thing is, when you put a person in the center, residential care, the medicines, okay, it will be taken care. When you are paying 40,000, these medicines per month, 2,000, 3,000 doesn't affect much. Wherein, when it comes to the person moves to the next level, wherein he or she will not be able to, express that they want to use restroom. So what next? You can't have, even the caregivers in the residential care, they can't keep on cleaning every time, wherever a person, 20 people will be there, wherever they do, they, dirty the place, they can't immediately keep cleaning. So they have to take their hygiene as well. Right? It's not the only person who's there. So there, the expenses of diapers comes into the picture. That's another burning element. Minimum per day, 3 to 4 diapers, if it is a normal weather like today. But if it is a rainy season, winter season, especially rainy, minimum 4 to 5 diapers are required per person. 4 to 5 diapers per day per person. That means for monthly amount. Luckily, I had a very good friend. He used to get me in by medical stores, good discount. I was blessed in that. This one expense. And another expense, your travel. Your travel. Every week, if it is in the same city, okay. Even if it is same city, it can't be near to your door, right? In Bangalore, we have so many centers now. But each one is diagonally opposite to your direction, where if you are living in the west, it is in the south, that is in the east, that is the. Globally, geographically, it's not in our hands. So that's another expensive. Besides all this, the person who is earning, he stopped earning. Right? It's a loss. And the person who has to take care will not be able to take care if the person is at home. By then, by the time we decide that we are putting them in a home, the person who is caregiver, like Sabi said, caregiver, we would have lost our job. Or we would have been forced to quit the job because the situation was like that. So the person who is suffering, diagnosed, stopped earning, and you who is taking care has to stop working. Then you will realize, yeah, I'm very tired now, I can't anyway take care of him or her, so let me put there. So where will you get that money? You don't have job. The person with dementia, if he or she are pensioners, you are saved. If not, it's not 1 or 2 years maintenance or care taking. It's for minimum 10 to 15 years. You can multiply these figures and see. So the thing is, have we earned already that much? If yes, you are a bit saved. Do you have what do you call ancestral properties? You are saved. If you are 60 plus years, your children would have grown up. Are they supportive? Well and good. If not, what will you do? So this disease is that cruel. No? It sucks the blood and money and life of the family, the caregivers has. So you had to sacrifice. You may have to stop your children for going further studies, or if they're in an age of getting married, you have to compromise them. But I didn't compromise. In that peak year, I sent my daughter to Canada for studies. I thought, okay, looks like this is coming to an end slowly, and that is future. So of course, I won't had so that's a different story. This is the financial aspects of a person, if anybody in the family is suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's. So how do you tackle it? It's all in our hands. We should be smart enough to maintain our mental health, and we should be smart enough from now itself, in saving money and keeping exclusively some part. Yes. I said pension. If the person with dementia is earning pension, very good. Nothing like that. If not, is insurance helping in our country for mental health? No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I have not got even 10 rupees from the insurance, not from the bank reimbursement. Because in the bank, I could not claim because it's a mental related disease. If I have to show that, he'll be kicked out from the job. So we should be very careful and plan well, because no insurance also helps. So you youngsters here, whoever listening here, you be careful, and you observe your parents, what their mental health, how they are doing, and what is it. Talk to them, and you also discuss with your friends, family, and seniors like Sabarwanji, who can help guide all this. This is the financial part. When it comes to legal part, first thing is, as long as the diagnosis is happening and medications are given, and the person is at home, well and good. When it goes beyond the hands, when you have to put them in a care center, you have to discuss with your, first thing, your immediate family, that's a spouse or your children, and then his or her siblings who will come into the picture to create most of the time problems. Because it's a one this thing is there, and financial. Oh, now open property there. Even he then he will not sign the document, blah blah blah, all that happens. So in that case, you should be legally taking help. Once you decide to put him there, and meantime, what happens? They'll forget signatures. There's a main worst thing can happen, one can happen. That had happened with my husband because he was a banker and he used to sign. Of course, I had to take him DRS in 2014. He was not ready to sign. Somehow I held his hand literally and made him sign. His manager was there missing. I said, not anywhere. I can't do anything. So in that part, so they can't sign. So you should be very careful. And you analyze the situation. Oh, things are going wrong. You discuss with the doctor, either neurologist or psychiatrist. You discuss and tell them, sir, what can I do next? Then, if you have any good lawyers in your friend circle, especially, discuss with them. Shall I go ahead and ask him to write the bill? Or shall I make the bank accounts from joint to single? Any properties, if it is in joint name, make it to convert into single. And you discuss all this with your children. Without their consent, please do not take any decisions, though it is our own earning. Always tell them, and this is a situation, I'm taking this decision, so that you will not have any future complications. If you have, fortunately, unfortunately, if you have, your father's ancestral property, you should be careful with your siblings. And definitely they will not agree. Then you will say, see, he's deteriorating. So let us sell this property. Definitely they all will not agree. They will not agree. No, the rates are not good, will not. So all this, you have to discuss with the family and, make them understand and bring them to one conclusion and hear legal reason. So I think if I keep talking, I'll be talking overnight also. This is such a big subject. I think please do take care of mental health first. If you take care of mental health, all this will not come. And be physically healthy, exercises, and mainly friends. We had to have friends. We had to have some chill out timings. We had to party ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ ಸಾಯಿ ಆಶ್ರಮದವ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ ಈಗ ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು go for movies, watch movies. Music helps a lot in normal life itself. They say it doubles the results in persons with dementia. So take care of all this. And on this note, I want to thank my very good friend, Dr. Pinkaman Sabarwal. Yeah, of course. God's doctor. And our president, Samit Gupta ji, it is very nice meeting you. And also, thank you and thank you so much. And thanks for listening to me.
Can I ask you a question? Ma'am?
Yes, sir.
My name is Prabhu Prasad. I'm an invitee from the Senior Citizen Club. Madam, it's a layperson's question. See, when you say that you have to spend about 3,000 to 4,000 rupees per month for the medication, and till now what I understood was it's an irreversible disease. So in what way the medication helps?
Yeah, medication will not help much. Only thing is, doctors will prescribe medicines for this, only control it. Otherwise, if you don't take medicines, if the person doesn't take medication, they'll go very aggressive. Very aggressive up to one extent. My husband has moved 3-door cupboard with full of clothes. Literally, he has moved one night. He was very aggressive that day. I didn't have medicines. And it was raining like crazy in one Sunday night. The medications are not given, the situation will be worse. And they don't know what they are doing. He's pulled out the TV, which was fixed to the wall. And I literally go, and he pushed me. I got hurt many times. So if you don't give medicine, all this will happen, medication, you put them in a bit.
I'll add to this. Yes, sir. There is no medicine for the Alzheimer cure.
Yeah.
No symptoms every 3 months changes. sleeplessness. My wife won't sleep for 3 months together. So the doctor give medicine for sleep pain. After 3 months is the aggression. After 3 months is the depression. So they keep on changing medicines to control the other behavior for notice. That's why it's not very costly. The medicine is only about 2,000-4,000 rupees. That's all. It is to control the behavior which happens along.
But for the disease, as such, there's no medicine.
Actually, it's fantastic you started the question because the next was question and answer.
Yeah.
And the floor is open. We can ask a question.
Thank you.
Thank you. It doesn't look nice. Attack more than this. Now, of any questions, we like to attend one.
There are no cases of pure
No, no,
Follow the word.
reversal.
no, no.
So as I said, the cells start dying at the accelerated pace. There are two things. One is the proteins formed between the two cells. The connections are broken. Another protein formed within the cell. So they keep on tangles, keep on coming, the cell bursts. So that cell is damaged around the vicinity of other cells are damaged. So the only cure will be like for cancer. 2 years back, I had gone through cancer treatment. They give a chemo. What they are trying to do, Japanese have come with a technology. They are able to dissolve those proteins. But then from here, they go somewhere else, how to take out of the brain. That would say take another 10 years how to handle that proteins. They know what type of proteins they are there. The problem will be how to remove those proteins from the brain. So it's irreversible. Once the cell starts dying, there are 6 lobes in the brain. It starts from here, it can go to the northwest, southeast, or it travels and ultimately all cells get damaged. The ultimate is
What are the early indications? And is there anything is identified as the cure?
so these no. The indications are those which are given 10 symptoms in the pamphlet. Memory loss, sense of direction, no identification, speech loss, coordination, disorientation, all those things happen. Right? And by the time somebody starts noticing it, even in my case, after 4 years when it was detected, the doctor Nimhans asked me, either that you are such a qualified person, you are something, how did you take so long? I have this thick file, I said, the last 4 years I've been going to psychologist, psychiatrist, neuro, everybody. Nobody could, they can't say Alzheimer's. They all, I mean, I don't want to say, but I say, doctor, you play safe. They all write in one case, they have written Alzheimer's with a 4 question mark. It could be. I mean, unless somebody says it is Alzheimer's, how can? So, and I have not gone into detection is very difficult. It's only when the symptoms start happening, all these things happen over a period of time, 3-4 years, you keep noticing it, only then there is Alzheimer's, and by that time it's advanced.
And prevention, I mean, what do we do to?
Yeah, maybe. Physically active, mentally active, reading, and once in a while, use left hand. Ladies especially, while cooking, you keep moving your left hand as well. Not just right hand always. And gents while playing tennis or something, use left hand also. And while cutting vegetables, left hand. While shaving, try with your left hand. But it's difficult, but practice.
You will get cut. I started to know. These are two things because whichever hand you are using, the other part of the brain is more active. So if I am right-hander, my left lobe is working. If I start using left, the right answer will be more time. Number 1. Number 2, they say start learning another language. That is doing Sudoku and all that are normal things. Brain healthy, but to delay onset of Alzheimer's, it is not proven. Somebody has to do research on that, but there is no harm. Using the other hand, these use hand and start learning a language. They say it won't do any damage if it doesn't do anything good. That's the bottom.
It helps.
Sir, now,
So,
see, suppose you have a kidney problem,
yes, sir.
you go to a nephrologist.
Yes.
Suppose you have a gastric problem, you go to a gastroenterologist. Now, if you know that somebody is in your house, say initial stages, you got Alzheimer's. What is the type of doctor you must? In our country, like you said,
In our country, it's basically a neurophysician. So now I come to that, there is something called mental state examination, MMSC test. Now it takes an hour and a half. I've talked to the two doctors in Enhance. The first one is very go for consultancy, they charge 1,000 rupees and they, how much time they give you, 5 or 10 minutes? Right? This test takes an hour and a half. No neurophysician is willing to do it. In 2 cases, I will take 4 times of carry out this test. Unfortunately, that is a problem in our country. You go to psychologists, psychiatrists, neurophysicians, this disease is linked up with all. Unfortunately, I won't answer there. Even the doctors don't say, you go to that person. You have to go through psychologist, psychiatrist, neuro, one neuro, second neuro, and before somebody says yes, it does that. That's the sad part. But it's a true one.
Why do you think so much for the caretaker home, even in Kolar?
Yeah, as I mentioned you, the Kolar center charges were 17,000 per month when I put my husband. I could afford only that much. That was also taxing me. In fact, luckily he was getting pension of 20,000. So I said, okay, 17,000, I'm paying another 3,000
for your
for my petrol every weekend. I used to go and I had to drop out driver. I had get driver for him, to take him to the daycare, 2014 to 15. And I had to drop him out because I was paying 14,000 for it. Slowly, I changed my manual car to automatic car, and I have dropped it, and I started daily driving to Kolar. I live in Vijayanagar. It's other end is Kolar. So that was working out a bit better for me. Though physically I used to be very tired, and after seeing him, and it used to take 5 days for me to come back to normal. And every Saturday I used to come, and again I used to.
I have traveled with her to Kolar, starting from Vijayanagar all the way to Kolar. Attend for 4 hours, be with him. If that is any consolation, while coming back, she was in tears. I used to be sitting on a taxi. Very difficult, what she's gone through. I mean, what everybody goes through is different ways. But in her case, when I said, why don't you have a driver? She said, Sally, I can't afford it. She learned it, drove it, imagine. This is what you have to go. Anyway, it's a part of the game.
Yeah, that's how.
That's why we say you want to be bold enough. Like people used to ask me when I wrote my first book, Sally, you're very brave. I'm excellent. I used to ask 2 questions. Did I have a choice? Do I dump her? No, I have to look after her. Then the second is a positive way. If you have to do something, do courageously. You got to climb that peak in target. You know, out of 100 people, 90 will die. You still do it. So you do it courageously. So that is what I say. If you have to do it, now you got to do it, looking after it yourself.
About this being such a cruel disease, I mean, people like you and through the Rotary, can you tell the government to do something like that? Have an affordable care center?
Some on this. 3 years back, in Indian Institute of Science, we had an international seminar, about 70 Euro people came. That time the health minister Naga came, right? He came, something was presented to him, he was decent enough to say that in our country, the normal primary health care we cannot do. How do we go into these diseases? But something has come up, this MMSC test which I am saying, it is an English based and all that takes an hour and a half. I think 2 months back, an Indianized test has come through, and now there is a care. A neurophysician does not have to conduct it, even a trained nurse can do it. So in Nightingale Medical Trust, we are training people, and actually over here we are having a health camp. I think it is on 26th here in Rote also learning. So we are trying to do that. Another camp I am doing in Chittumandel. So these 2 with Nightingale we are doing. That will be our next step. First is awareness. ADRAG, when we said, ADRAG is Alzheimer's Dementia Rotary Action Group. What we have said, A is awareness, D stands for detection. Once we detect that R goes for rehabilitation, and she says everybody cannot look after. Maybe after 4 or 5 years, we'll have some funds to rehabilitate some people who probably looked after at home, especially into the center, right? The second A comes for assistance for the caregiver. And at that G, we have to generate funds to what we want to do. So that is our mission of AgRag, our new definition given. So we are starting presently at the first step itself, creating awareness. Detection is the first time in this month we'll have 2 camps. One here in Roti House of Learning, other will be Shishu Mandir beyond here. All free of cost.
Is there anything that you're doing as the caregivers, not the immediate relatives? Because I think the problem with my father for the last 5 years. And the caregivers, we don't get really, in the sense that they're not nurses, or are they IRS? So in between, so we find that a big
So
problem.
what we are doing, in Delhi also we got the problem in all major cities, Bombay and all that. What we have already is thinking to do. We want the people who will like to get trained. Nightingale Medical Trust, we give them 15 days training. Rotary Club of Bangalore and government will spend the expenditure. We want those people. Not to get those people in the age of 35 to 45 who have got empathy and all that. We are not able to get those. With Shishu Mandir, since we got about 300 children from the slums, we are putting a word over there if anybody. So that is a problem because nobody is forthcoming for that. In a normal nurses, when you get from the nursing homes and all that, 20,000 rupees for 8 or 10 hours, they leave after 3 days, 4 days, 5 days because they cannot attend to the patients. Here the patient doesn't have to be given medicine, injection, BP taken, nothing to look at their terms, what they behave. So normal caregivers need. We have got a plan to train them. I think we can work together. How do we get those people who should be trained? The other 2 parts are ready. Training part is ready, finances are ready. We want the people who should be trained. I think you can tell in local language. If any of the lady or young man can come.
Uma, Sai gives me a name organization in the. ನಾವು ಈಗ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹುಡುಗರು ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಹುಡುಗರು ಲೇಡೀಸ್ ಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಲೇಡೀಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಲೇಡೀಸ್ ಆತರ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಕೊಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿ ಆತರ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ನಾವು ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಜನ ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ ಇವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ನಿಮ್ ಸಾಯಿ ಆಶ್ರಮ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಅಂತವರು ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಯಂಗ್ಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅವರು ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ
What is the age group? Age group, madam? 32.
It's only about 35.
ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ ಸೊ ಆ ತರ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಇರ್ತಾರ ನೀವೀಗ ವಾಪಸ್ ಹೋದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಾಳೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಸುಧಾ ಇದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲ ಸುಧಾಗೂ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ
You don't get anybody in here. The only people you get is from North Karnataka. You get most of them from North.
Sabir sir, this could be a joint for club project to identify people who should be trained. Then this could be taken as a so that's what I'm saying. Training part I look after sir. Just let's have to become even if we got 4 or 5 people. Earlier, Nightingale had 3 months. So I spoken Dr. Radha Murthy could not come. She has said, Savvy, even if there are 5 people, we will train. Now let's start.
Even from our company, though we are the years, so we are starting the skill development for caregivers. But getting this particular people are where we are.
So their training can be done in medical trust, or I can even request Dr. Radha Murthy to send their parents at some other place rather than putting 10 people there, 2 parents can go. Even that can be arranged. But I think it requires to have the dedicated people of 5 or 6 who should be trained. Their placement is not a problem.
Have you heard of
You
this?
have to say enough was people who come forward to take up the training. They do not sir, they are paid about 3,000 one shift, 12 hours.
Including,
12 hours.
You can know that. They are
now 22,000.
And the two, no guarantee. They may leave in 1 week, they don't bother to take that 7 days money on. They don't want.
Have you heard of this place called dementia? They are doing a great job.
Yeah, they are doing.
I think people know, I mean, they have a place for almost 100 people.
And their occupancy is pretty low.
The occupancy is high, sir. It's, they put up one more floor.
That was for the class 6 months, it might have happened after the COVID. And yeah, we require more centers of that type. Bangalore has got the area, BKCI in Yalanga. Okay, now I'll tell you the problem is this. I wanted to create a circle of caregivers in Bangalore. Now, how do I find out who are the Alzheimer patients? I have to ask doctors who are the patients. They do not want to share the details of the patients. How do I go to care? We've got a caregiver center on WhatsApp group of about 80 plus. We started in Delhi. Where the people are from all over the country. In Bangalore, like I said, I know about 12 families whom I know personally because wherever I give a talk, after the talk, somebody comes up. So I take a number at that. Otherwise, for caregivers, we wanted to have a session. How do I know who are caregivers? Only the patients are known to the neuro people. They do not want to share. I've got 4 patients, she's got 4 patients, you've got 3 patients. So those are those basic medical ethics. We cannot share the details of patients. So those are practical problems. There's so much to be done, but these are hindrances. So we will overcome. Slowly we will.
I have heard of it, but this is my first exposure to this. I'm really amazed rather shocked out of my senses to know that it is irreversible and it will be such a big burden to the family. And the more awareness we do, I think it's that's the first thing that we can do. And on behalf of Rotary Bangalore also, I request you to come and do this with our club sometime in the month of October.
So you let us know the date, either me or Anupama will be there.
We will,
One of us
get
full talk, both of us can come, fine, both of us can come. No, you, sir, we need the other way around.
I'll take your numbers and call you.
Like I said, you decide a date and give it, in October, I'm going to Calcutta to launch the chapter and all that, 5-6 days, if I am not there, it happens that day. Well, she come. Because on this is not only one talk, we give one talk, after 6 months, we have another talk. So I'll say at one time, listen to one person for 30 minutes, question answer session. Then after 6 months, have another, like first I give awareness, then I give caregiving. Then like she's been giving closure of finance, very, very important. Like my, when I went into that, as a signature problem came, I had a number tested. So I had a property shifted to my name, my bank accounts closed, everything got to be done. Because after that, it becomes too difficult. So these are the practical problems you have to solve it. But normally you're so overawed by the disease, you can't even think about. So that is where a person like who has gone through it, they can suggest, do it while the time is there. The disease will carry on. The life has to carry on, it should stop.
There's nothing wrong with it. To openly discuss with the family, I need to take a mind. Nothing wrong, nothing wrong. Even recently, I had issue in the back. My net banking was not working. Then after 15 days, I went to the branch. They said, Madam, I said, it's my individual account. Why are you getting it? He read 3 years back, still his account is active. Because some locker rental is not being deducted from there, of my account. This is what happens. Then I went, I myself to the cupboard, I removed the cupboard, legal notice, fresh copy. See this file, I've given death certificate, everything is for the date. 10th of January 2019, in 5 days, I've submitted everything. But we should be very careful, with especially bank banking related. When a person pretend fine, don't think twice. Trust your spouse. What is wrong in writing? Even when you are a wife and husband for years together, decades together, why not do the outing check by providing all the properties to the children of course? I will suggest don't trust. Chili or alright, don't write any. I'm not saying because I've seen many phone numbers. So chili or alright, keep it yourself. Spouse, of course. The things are very deep, but instinct will say that. Thinking of nothing wrong.
Sanjay, as you said, creating awareness is one of the major issues. Can you have a training session for some people who are ready to, speak on this subject?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have,
I would like to volunteer if I'm trained. If I'm
Sir,
trained, I'm happy.
some people love it because people ask me, why don't you go to the rural area? Like even today, I've got a problem, I don't know Kannada. I've gone to Gujarat, I've gone to Bombay, there I talk in Hindi. I go to Punjab, I talk in Punjabi. So we want some speakers who can speak in local language.
But
I
I'm
went
training.
to Tumkur.
Yeah.
So we can translate whatever I said. We want people who can. It's not a rocket science. It's very simple. With that PowerPoint presentation, you can listen to me 2 times. You can be fully effective.
Because I can speak 5 languages, southern languages.
So first class.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not the only guy.
Both hands. We do it.
Thank you, sir.
In fact, we should try the training for the first course. They ask how to go.
Yeah. Have translations in your clubs and
So it's time to take this session down. Close. I'd like to and Anupama and the new Dr. Sally. I will go back to you. I would like experience with very useful. Questions asked, you will know that how people feel about it. See, it's really a sad and story that we will actually my mother going to wait and actually studying plan. There is such a opportunity of Dubai. But today we are more or less in the loss. It's sad, but it's mine. Thank you so much. And thank you all for coming here today and asking a lot of relevant questions. And to all the others also, thank you so much. Take care.